Okay, let's talk about Victor Wembanyama's defense because everybody is talking about it. You hear that he's a defensive presence on the floor. He has his defensive gravity. Everyone's talking about that. Other people are saying that he might be Defensive Player of the Year or at least in contention. Others are saying that that's normal because he's tall, so that's what you can expect, right? What do I think? What's the reality or closer to the reality of Wembanyama's defense? Let's talk about height, okay? We all know he's not only a unicorn for his height, but an alien. People have been calling him an alien because he is 7'4", and in terms of height in the NBA, that's like number 9. I think like that's top 10 tallest players in the NBA ever, and probably like 8 or 7 for players that have played more than like 10 games, because some of the tallest players have played only like 3 minutes in one game, 3 games, whatever. Actively, the tallest active players, there's 14 players that are 7'1" or taller. Boban Marjanovic, we know Boban, we love Boban, he's 7'4", he's great, he's super nice. There's Victor Wembanyama, 7'4", we know about that guy, we're talking about that guy. There's Porzingis, 7'3", who was called the unicorn before Wemby, and rightfully so, because this guy can shoot at his height, and that's like, he's a problem on offense because of that. He's a great shooter. Yeah, Porzingis is one of the best tall players in the NBA, even currently. Then there's Bol, we've heard of him, 7'2". Moses Brown, 7'2". Who is that? Luke Cornett, 7'2". And the Celtics, Alex Len, 7'2". Rudy Gobert, 7'1". We know about him. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's still amazing on defense, and this year with the Timberwolves, he's kind of crushing everything. Chet Holmgren, 7'1". He's been pretty good defensively, and last game that he played, if I remember correctly, he had 9 blocks, which surpasses Victor Wembanyama's 8 blocks against Memphis, which was the season high, tied season high with Brook Lopez. Talking about Brook Lopez, he's also 7'1". He's leading the league in blocks, total blocks and blocks per game. There's also Jay Huff, Derek Lively II, who's a rookie for Dallas, and Jakob Podol and Domantas Sabonis. Domantas Sabonis also great offensive and defensive presence. We recognize some of the names. Other names I've never heard before looking at this list, to be honest. But yeah, let's narrow it down. So if being taller equals being a better defender, they should all be in the top blocking spots and mostly in the top for steals per game, right? Well, nope. Out of these 14, only 7 are in the top 50 for blocks. Guess what? Victor Wembanyama is number 2. Out of these 14, only 1 of them is in the top 50 for steals. And that's Victor. He's number 21. So Victor Wembanyama is the only out of those 14 tallest players over 7'1" to be in top 50 for blocks, top 50 for steals. And he's in the top 25 for both. So his defense is great. So yes, he's incredibly tall, but he is also physically able to play long minutes and play strong and focused defense night in and night out. People say that Bol could do what Wembanyama is doing, but the reality is that although now his minutes are trash in Phoenix, he had the opportunity to showcase his defense last year in Orlando, and he only averaged 0.4 steals and 1.2 blocks per game, being 2 inches smaller than Wembanyama, but still one of the tallest players in the league. Last year, he was maybe second, third tallest player in the league. And he was averaging 1.2 blocks per game. That is just not acceptable for that height. You have to be a great defensive player yourself through the talent and the skills. So the difference is too big to ignore. Defensive talent matters. This is why, for example, Scotty Barnes, who is at only 6'7", is averaging 1.2 blocks and 1.6 steals per game. It's the talent, it's the effort, and it's the IQ to anticipate other players' movements that make him a great defender. Although he's 6 inches shorter than Bol, Scotty Barnes is a much better defender. He's averaging as many blocks and more steals. So, yeah, height matters, talent matters as well. So Victor Wembanyama's defense is amazing. Taking into the context, yes, he's tall, but he's making the most out of his height, and that's all you can ask of him, especially in his rookie year, especially in the first quarter of his rookie year. So this is also like, it's pretty early in the season, it's pretty early, of course, in his career, but we already can see some hints of what he is able to do on defense. On offense, of course, and his efficiency is not that great, but on defense, he's putting that effort, he's putting that energy, and hopefully he can sustain that and win some defensive players of the year. Right now I think it's a bit too early in this season, and there's some very good defensive players like Brook Lopez. Giannis Antetokounmpo is still very good on defense. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging ridiculous amounts of steals. I don't have the stats right now in front of me, but it's insane. It's gotta be on the screen. Victor Wembanyama's defense is amazing, and it shouldn't be taken for granted because of his height. Yes, it's a factor, but ultimately it's his talent, skills, perseverance, timing, and anticipation that are what makes him a great rim protector. Even through only 24 games that he's played, he's playing at an elite level for defense. He has to step it up a little bit on offense, but that also relies on the entirety of the Spurs roster, which we're now not helping him too much. And of course, continue to develop his skills on offense, on defense, to become the great player that everybody is predicting that he will be. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Wembanyama's content. Of course, thank you as always for following Wemby.